Enyobeni Tavern owners have been slapped with a 5,000 rand fine each or spend 100 days behind bars. The East London Magistrate's Court handed down the sentence a short while ago, acknowledging that it may be seen as lenient. The couple was found guilty of contravening the Liquor Act by selling alcohol to a minor. Newzroom Afrika's Siphosethu Booi has been following these proceedings and joins me now live with the details. Siphosethu, a very good morning to you. We heard the judge say whatever sentence the court hands down may be condemned as being too lenient, considering the high impact this has had on those who lost their loved ones and the community at large.
That's not correct, Simpo. And of course, Tango Pangalele, the state prosecutor, was leading the graviation argument today, saying that the magistrate needs to send a strong message to tavern owners who are quite, don't have ways and precautions in place where minors are easily accessible, or rather liquor is easily accessible to minors in townships, as this particular case, the Enyobeni case, has sent shockwaves across the country. Not only has it affected the families of these 21 young people who passed away on the 26th of June in 2022, but to the community at large. And of course, the magistrate also saying that he's quite aware of the fact that this may be viewed by the general public as a lenient sentence. However, the two are first offenders, and let's listen to the sentencing of the magistrate Kevin van Brut earlier on at the East London Regional Court, just before he sentenced the two accused, Vuyokazi Ndevu and Siyakhangela Ndevu.
Having tried to balance all the interests as fairly as possible and consider the applications which have been made and the interests of the community, each of the accused is sentenced to a fine of 5,000 rand or 100 days imprisonment.
And of course, the defense lawyer, Precious Daniel, also arguing that Siyakhangela Ndevu is a person that suffers from high blood pressure as one of the reasons or the circumstances that would mean that maybe, the issue of a sentence being more lenient towards their current situation, their parents. And of course, they have 4 children and have been married for 23 years. However, Tango Pangalele arguing that these two, Your Majesty, or rather talking to the magistrate, saying they show no sign of remorse with regards to this particular matter. And of course, this may send a strong message. Your judgment must send a very strong message to the community, not only the district, but to the country at large, to some of those tavern owners that still make liquor accessible to minors. And of course, let's now listen to the bite where now the magistrate told the court that was full of family members of the deceased that the two will be charged with 5,000 rands each.
I realize that a lot of people are still very angry with the endeavours, whether justifiably or not, I don't want to go into, but I can understand this. I do sympathize with their emotions, their attitudes, but I cannot emphasize strongly enough, the court has to try and be fair to everybody. The attitude of the community is a crucial issue, but it is not the only one. And of course, the parents' reactions have not been easy. Just outside court, some, were crying hysterically about the sentencing, saying that it's a slap on the wrist. The others saying that they're frustrated, and at this point they just wish to be taken home because the verdict didn't go according to what they had hoped it would be. And some parents saying that at least now there's still an inquiry, an inquest into what could have possibly been the cause of death of their children, because this particular trial didn't go according to their plans. But the NPA is here. Will be giving us reaction from the NPA side. Mr. Gyali, Mr. Ndevu was not one to be quite quiet with regards to his reaction of them being fined 5,000 rands each, also making some accusations towards Mr. Pangalele. The reaction of the NPA?
His reaction is a confirmation of what we had presented in court, because we had told the court that the devils are not remorseful and they have a total disregard of the law. And of course, we were disappointed that the court didn't say that, but opted to give them a fine. But we accept the sentence because it is also provided for by the Act, which we had charged them based on.
Speak to us about what the reaction from community members in a case that's so high profile, like the magistrate had also, agreed to the kind of message it sends out about the state, as well, and also just the general perception of how it will be received by the community.
It was the state submission to the court that the society, the interest of the society has to be taken into consideration in this matter. But the court also noted that we must be well conversant of the fact that the matter that relates directly to the deaths of the children is still to be heard in the inquest that is due in the Tanzania court next week. So this one was mainly about the case that was opened by the Liquor Board for the contravention of the Eastern Cape Liquor Act, which provides for the fine. So we do accept that, and we hope that the public out there will understand that the main case, which relates to the deaths of the children, is still to be heard in the inquest, which will decide as to who must be held criminally liable for the deaths of the children.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jali. Speaking to us, they also making mention of the fact that the magistrate did, or rather the court did make it clear that this particular trial was not to determine if whether or not someone should be held liable for the death of the 21 young lives. However, it was a case to find the two, guilty of selling liquor at the establishment at the Enyobeni Tavern in Scenery Park.
With the pair only being charged with the contravention of the Liquor Act, did the parents of those who lost loved ones and some community members, were they aware that this is where the focus would be? Because, the judge was very careful before delivering his judgment to really caution that this sentence may seemingly be condemned for being too lenient.
And of course, he made that quite clear earlier on, even on Wednesday, before he read out his judgment, that it's important that the general public, that includes the parents at the gallery, to note that they are just finding the two on the basis of the complainants, which was the Eastern Cape Liquor Board, if whether or not they had sold liquor to underage minors. So this case was not really about, finding out what could have been the reason behind the deaths of those 21 young lives, and also alluding to the fact that a separate inquiry is ongoing. That's where that will be taken care of. However, it is important that this court be balanced in ensuring that everyone's rights are adhered to, and that they do and find, substantial evidence that links the two to what the particular trial was about, which was the contravening of the Liquor Act. So that was made clear, and of course the parents were quite clear on Wednesday, I could say, because when we spoke to one parent, they said even though there was no substantial evidence that connected the 21 young people to Mr. Ndevu and Siakangela Ndevu for, selling liquor to minors. However, at least one child who was a witness who had taken to the stand had said that they had bought alcohol at the establishment. So that still gives them peace. However, the turn of events today has left them quite devastated and sad that that too, where they were expecting a 5-year sentence, was not possible, because the magistrate had said they were first offenders. So it would be a bit extreme for the court to actually take them to court
and sentence them with a lengthy sentence of 5 years. So a fine would be one that would be suitable. Also alluding to the fact that the state prosecutor himself had said that Ndevu and his wife were given an option to pay an admission of guilt fee. So that already had alluded or told the court or gave an indication to the court that the state prosecutor were also aware that maybe a fine would have been a preferable sentence in a case similar to this one that we're in now at the Enyobeni. However, they're devastated. That's what I can tell you. The parents are devastated, but they're still hoping that, of course, the inquiry would get to the bottom of what could have been really the cause of death of their 21 children who had passed away on the 26th of June in Scenery Park, Enyobeni Tavern in East London, Paul.
Very well, Siphosethu Booi, of course, detailing the outcome of that court judgment that we heard a short while ago.